going to start with a little prayer and do a little bit of talking, and then we're going to do a journey, kind of what we were just talking about. And you can use it for going into the mountain. A lot of people, when they come to Mount Shasta, they want to know how to get in the mountain. And journeying is a really good way, but also doing soul retrieval, or often you can even go into past lives. So first I'm going to say a little prayer. I call forth the power and the presence of all the ascended masters, all the angels, and all of your ancestors. And I say a prayer in gratitude for the best of Mount Shasta. And I say a prayer for all those presenters and all the people that are coming, and Andrea for her creating this great thing for this town and drawing people here. And we thank you for that, grandmothers and grandfathers. And we go to the south of trust and innocence, the way of the coyote. And for all of you, taking that inner child in and always protecting and really understanding that it's very present in all of our lives, grandmother and grandfather. So thank you for being in the south. And then we go to the west of the eagle, the raven and the bear, and the part of our lives that is in healing of those emotional issues, the endings and the new beginnings. And we thank you, grandmothers and grandfathers, for being in the west. And then going to the north, the way of the wise ones, the white buffalo, grandmothers and grandfathers, that we all are able to understand the importance of the elder and the strength of the north, and the ascended ones who are teaching us and being in the north. We thank you, grandmothers and grandfathers. And then going to the east, where the eagle and the thunderbird reside, the beginnings, the endings, and we take that in, grandmothers and grandfathers, and we appreciate that part of our lives, and understanding the medicine wheel, that we go from place to place, and we recognize that as the power and the strength. And we thank you for showing up, for being here for this weekend and bringing this into all of us. And we go into the lower world, the creepy crawlers, and that part that we sometimes slither along. We thank you, grandmothers and grandfathers, for being in the underworld and the middle world, the present world where we're breathing, we're here. And again, back going in the upper world, where the ancient one, the angels, and all of our ancestors, we thank you for being a part of this ceremony and bringing the blessings into us and giving us the guidance to move forward in our lives. Aho, homitaki asen. Aho. Okay. So one of the things is that I've learned, I started doing a lot of this from the time I was like 25. And then I was lucky enough to hang out with some of these native people and do some different trainings. It's really important, like Carla was saying, that the more that you get involved in the medicine way and higher teaching, the more important it is to handle your psychological and your strength, because things do come at you. And when we had our store, I had a store in Mount Shasta, people would come to me, and I didn't tell them, other than I and a few people, that I did readings. And they'd say, well, who can I go to? And I'd say, well, go to somebody that's the most advanced and psychologically developed. Because a lot of times people will have techniques, but they're not really grounded, and they're not really, when we were talking about addictions, they're not really versed on those kind of things. They think they are, but they really aren't. So it's really important when you make your alliances with your teachers that they are the ones who are grounded and have really walked that walk. And I remember my first teacher, I was lucky enough, Reverend Pearl Shannon, and I remember asking her, why do you still have such problems? Because I met her in her 70s. And she said, because I am a teacher. And she used to meditate. Any of you know who Yogananda is? He used to come from Encinitas and meditate in her living room with her. So she's a pretty advanced soul, but she was in her 70s and she was still going through life. Life is life, you know. And so the more that you can really heal that part of your psychological or childhood traumas or even past life traumas, getting present here and living in the now and doing your work is really what's going to make the difference as to who you connect with. You want to connect with a teacher that has done their work. And that could be recovery work, that can be spiritual work, it can be prayer work. But a lot of people say they've done this stuff, but they really haven't, because it's an ongoing, we're getting our PhDs in this. This is not a continuum. And even, I don't know any of you who are mediums, I've been a medium my whole life, And when you see people who have gone to the other side, they're the same. They may be a little surprised that the angels aren't flying around and doing all that. But the reality is if they've left here with whatever trauma, they're over there, whatever it is. And hopefully they're working on healing it. But when we're talking about dark energies that we were talking about before in Carla's thing, is that we have to really understand that when somebody has these possessions, I've worked with a lot of possessions, and I don't put it out there. But because that's not really fun work, it's hard work. I have a scar on my arm from it. But the thing is that first off, they have to want to be depossessed. Now, people will say they want to, and especially in addictions, they will say they want to, but the reality, you know what I'm talking about, right? She's smiling. They have to really want it. I worked with a woman who was from South America who had 3 different entities, and she was in her 40s, and it happened when she was 5. That's where the scar on my arm is. And she said she wanted it, and I had taken her to a sweat, and I had handed her bay, because I was talking about bay. Bay is a really cleansing, a lot of therapists, if you work with people, having a bay leaf in your practice like a flower arrangement is a big protection thing. And I handed her bay, and the next minute I was in the fire because her spirits knew I was trying to help her. But she didn't want it, so I had to stop doing that. The person has to really want it. And the thing that's about what we were talking about before, it's very enticing, it's powerful. She was a very powerful, beautiful woman. And she felt, I think, that if she gave that up, her entities that were powerful, that she would lack the charisma. And so a lot of times what people say, you have to really look at them and see if you want to take it on, because that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the truth. So I just have a lot to say about that because I've worked with it a lot. And it's my teacher the first time, she would have a small class, and it was like this on Mondays. One of the things she said, it was in San Francisco, and she would say, I don't want any of you going to the Tenderloin bars as students. And you go, what does that mean? She was a great storyteller, and I'm a good storyteller. What it meant is that if you went in that lower life place, there was a chance until you understood how to handle that they could jump in. So she did not want her students who were vulnerable, who were being trained, very sensitive, to go into the divey places, because until you get that kind of a thing, and even now, I'm very picky. I don't go to those kind of places. I'm not in there trying to, get souls. Come on, I can heal you. Let's do it. It'll be fun. Right. Wrong.
You talked about the ghetto.
Yeah, anything like that. In San Francisco, there used to be an area, and different areas there's that. And I'm not saying that I haven't worked with people that are traumatized and want help. I mean, I think that's really a privilege and an honor, but you have to really understand if they really want to do that. Because a lot of times, like what you were talking about, you end up going into these other realms. So, okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to do a drumming, and I'm going to guide you, and I'll go through, and like I said, you can use this technique pretty much about anything, and it can help heal things. It can go into the past. When I first started doing this sort of thing, I actually went into past lives, and sometimes it's very powerful because you feel it through your whole body, and that's what some of us as healers, the more you develop, the more you feel it, and that's not necessarily, and you can protect yourself, but the reality is this is our instrument. And in the 1800s, you were called sensitives for a reason, because you were so sensitive and you could help people. So, you can go back into those kind of things. And this one, if you like, who here has gone into the mountain when they've meditated? Okay, so we have some different, if you haven't done that, you can go into the mountain and see, it's a really powerful thing. You can do it in meditation consistently, and doing it with the drumming and doing that kind of gives you that safety and rhythm that you can go into other realms easier. So if you'd like to do that, that's great. Or if you want to go, we'll go up 5 stairs, and because I always like to go to the upper realms more than I like to go. It's not that there's any wrong with the lower realms, but I prefer the upper realms. And so we'll go up, and there can be a door or a gate, whatever it is, and kind of really watch and see what it is, and then where you go. You can go into a garden. Sometimes people will go into a temple. Or if you're going in the mountain, just stay there and see who comes to get you or how it looks. And then after, we'll do a quick little sharing as to some of the things that might have come up for you. I don't know if you're comfortable in your chair, but if you can, close your eyes and we'll just go through this. Has anybody done these kind of journeys before? You have, and I know have. Yeah, okay. But it'll be just an extended one. The thing that's great about journeying is the more people that do it together kind of grounds that energy, and this is a safe place. So sometimes you can go further with a group of people than you can home alone sometimes. And sometimes you can do just the reverse because you feel safer home alone. So, okay, just with each beat of the drum, just relax. And just take a few deep breaths and know that you are protected. And just feel the drum. We're going to start around your feet. We're going to feel the golden light coming in, just going around your ankles. And with each beat of the drum, you're just going to let go and know that you are safe. We're going to that special place of healing. Now going up your lower legs and just feeling that golden light pulsating with each beat of the drum through, and just taking that golden light and just feeling it as though it's like a golden elixir, and feel the power of the golden light. You raise your vibration. Now going around your knees and just feel that golden light. It's sort of oozing through your body, raising your vibration, raising your DNA, and feeling again the power and the strength of that. Just the golden light from the tip of your toes up to your knees. Now we're going up into our thighs, relaxing and going deeper, and just feeling that golden light. And feel the power of the drum and just letting go and knowing you are safe with this group, and just feeling the golden light. Now going up towards your pelvis and now going into your womb. And feel that golden light, that elixir gold filling up your womb. Feel the power and the strength of the golden light. Again, from the tip of your toes to your womb, and now going across your buttocks and around your waist, and just feel that power and the pulsating with the drum, just relaxing and going deeper, and now going around your waist. And again, just see that golden light with each beat of the drum, raising your vibration and just feeling that power and that strength going up your rib cage. Each beat of the drum, just feel that golden light filling up your rib cage, raising your vibration, and getting ready to go to that special place, going up into your heart. Feel the golden light in your heart, and let's connect your heart with your womb, and just really understanding the power and the strength when the two work together. Feeling that love for yourself with that golden light. Going up across your chest and across your shoulders with each beat of the drum. Just relax and let go and just feel that power of the golden light. Now going down your upper arms and around your elbows and into your forearms, that golden light. And again, going into the palms of your hands and feeling that golden light almost spurting out your fingers, and just feeling it, and see yourself as a halo of golden light, and just taking that golden light out maybe 6 inches beyond your body, so that you're being protected, you're raising your vibration, going across your shoulders, around your neck, your throat chakra, and feel that golden light pulsating in your throat chakra, and again connecting your heart, your womb, and your throat. The importance of speaking your truth, and also knowing when to be quiet, that golden light. And again, keep it 6 inches or maybe even a foot out of your body, protecting your body. And now going up over the top of your head. And with each beat of the drum, you just relax even more and feel the power of the golden light going across your forehead, around your eyes, and dropping your jaw. And feeling that golden light and seeing yourself in this golden light, and just relaxing. And in front of you there are 5 stairs. And again, we're going to go to that very special place of healing and power, and that can be wherever you choose. Okay, and going up the first step, relaxing, seeing yourself in that golden light, going deeper, 2, letting go, 3, almost there, and again, see yourself in that golden light, 4, and there may be a gate or a door, or it may be just a garden, and 5. And once you get over there, look down at your feet and kind of look around. See where you are. Sometimes by seeing your feet, you'll see if you're barefoot or if you're in Indian boots or just whatever clothing sometimes you have will help you define where you are. Or maybe you are going in the mountain and you just see all of a sudden this beautiful white. And look around. And we're going to stay here for a little bit and we're going to find out what your message is. What this healing place that you can come to anytime is going to tell you. See how you are. What do you look like? What does it feel like? Are you alone? Looking around. You've brought your golden light with you so you feel protected and you've raised your vibration. You may even be in a room with a lot of books, the Akashic Records. Knowing. Your message. You can come back here anytime. Okay. All right, we're going to start back. It's kind of a fast journey because I want to give some time for sharing. Just look around and thank whoever showed up and whatever beauty, and even if it's a void, it's a powerful place. And now starting back. I know it was fast. Starting back. 5, coming back into the room, feeling refreshed. 4, remembering. 3, coming back in, fully present. 2, and 1. Okay, so does anybody have anything they'd like to share? Was it too fast?
A little bit quick for me, but
Yeah.
I got some colonial looking people.
You did? So what do you think that is?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. You saw somebody. You weren't alone.
It's just kind of the feeling I got.
Yeah.
The,
But you can see how you can do this, and you can take it to longer periods of time and where you can go. And even there's a technique in hypnotherapy called ethereal communication. And what that is you know that person that you have a conversation and you want to talk to, but you know it's not possible because A, they're not going to hear you, or it's going to be a challenge. Well, if you do something like this and have that person sit across from you and say whatever it is that you'd like to say in the physical, and the trick is you have to listen to what they say. And sometimes they won't say anything, or they just say, screw off. And so you do that a few times, so then when you finally have that communication, it makes it much easier to finally have that, because you've already done it on the inner. So this type of technique you can use for many things, for healing, for, like I said, when you're going to court and you want to kind of put the protection in and you want to prepare yourself before you go. These are the kind of things. And if you use a drum, it just takes it to a different level rather than just sitting and meditating on it. Did you have something? You did? You don't know?
I never did this before, so I don't know.
It was
what-
new, oh, so what happened?
I don't know when I post this text.
Okay, that's fine. But you're a real psychic person, so I know you don't like people to know that, I understand that. Right? You're busted.
I
Yeah,
have
see,
to tell that.
I bet. Well, that's just the way it is for people. And see, the problem is people see you. And you're just trying so hard to be hidden, right? You just thought, I'm just going to sit here, nobody's going to notice me, and I'm just going to see what's going on here. Okay. But see, that's it. Did anybody have, you've done it before, right?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I've done my own personal, meditation on the mountain, but I was having a hard time. My mind wasn't settling down. But I did get to a spot where I seen like a door open, and it was like shades of purple, green. It was kind of like fairy tale-ish, with
Right.
fairies and butterflies, and the plants were illuminated.
See, he didn't see anything though, right?
It was for a second, and then
That's sometimes all it is though, when you start, because we're doing a really fast journey. But what we do is we negate that that's a reality. You say, oh, it's not really real, and nobody, the angel didn't come to me and, christen me or do something. So it's just really important to follow those signs. And often the biggest medicine is really subtle. Like I just went through something, it took me 3 days to interpret it. So it's not something that all of a sudden you're hit with immediately. And journeys are like that. And then you'll think back and you go, or you'll go somewhere that looks like this. And you kind of, oh my gosh, this looks exactly like that journey I went on. I mean, you may not see the fairies, but other than psychically, but yeah. Yeah, it's fun. How about you, Aya?
I saw a bear.
Oh,
And I was
nice.
trying to figure out what he was saying. And he was trying to get me to dance with him and lighten up. But he was a big old bear, so I don't.
Well, that's your heart.
Oh,
The bear is the heart. That's the west. Open up your heart. Lighten up. Don't take life so seriously. I know, right? I know. You're on the spiritual path and we put our nose to the grindstone and say, okay, it's been hard and I'm just going to, stay okay. I'm not going to go anywhere. I've been there. That was hard. But I think we're moving into that. We're supposed to lighten up a little bit. And that's why it's important to keep showing up, because we've all done that hard work. Who hasn't suffered a lot here? Right. But we're seeing things in a different world now. And we're beginning also to make contact with people of our tribe so that we have people we can go ahead and bitch to and cry to. And we know that they are, backing us up. Right, Ronnie? Yeah. So what's going on with you?
I saw
Let's see.
geometric form with, like a rectangular, three-dimensional,
Oh, nice.
golden with sandals and black stripes. But there were a lot of talking, a lot of, voices talking.
Oh, talking to you.
But
I was going to say, did I talk too much? I'm sorry. No. Well, see, it's clairaudient. And a lot of those skills have to be developed because we tend to not listen. What we listen to is our brain that's saying, you're stupid, you can't do it, don't go here, don't do this. But then there's that other realm of teaching that they're trying to contact you, right? You know that. Right? Seems that way today. Yeah, and so that's some of the stuff that is developing. And then to know who those voices are. We were talking about the lower vibration spirits. Now those are the voices we don't want to listen to, but they're ever present and they're loud because they're kind of trying to get in our lives. And especially the more light you have and the more you develop, the misconception is when you get to a certain level that you don't have to deal with that. But the reality is it's always ever present and you can ignore them. It's a smart thing. And like that woman being in fear, they're sort of like Draculas or, vampires, that's the word I was trying to say. Yeah, so that's why doing different techniques and protection, and even with the drumming that I was just doing, you can do that as a protection and go to the area and, whatever it is that you're trying to protect yourself from, that's, you can do the golden light, you can do a white light, whatever it is, you can do a rainbow light. And that's why I took it, you know how the old holy cards were with the saints, with the gold outside? That's what that's about, to pull that out from your body so that you're always in that golden light. So you are not only protected, but you're raising your vibration unconsciously. You're not sitting around saying, aren't I cool? Isn't this great? So it's really powerful things to do. And one of the things too is, what is your practice? Does everybody have a practice here on a routine? Yeah, see, that's really important. And also weaving that into exercise. Because as our vibration raises, it's really important to keep our stamina up. And it's more than stamina. People think, I really love exercise and it's great. But it's really not just about that. It's really about the vibratory rate. Because we get older, we have to really jam it to keep our strength up. And we've been talking a lot, which I hadn't planned to talk anything about protection particularly, but we're talking a lot about that between Carla and what I'm doing. And to have your protection up, you have to have your stamina up. So it's really important. Now some of you, are younger and you think, well, it doesn't really matter. When you get older, you figure that. But what ends up happening with people that are older, and let's say 50 on, they figure, it's too much work, I'm too tired, I'd rather eat cookies, and I would rather do that, frankly. But I don't do that. I make a real effort because as my power increases, I have to also increase my stamina. And it's just part of the practice. It's a religious practice. So it's really important to do that. So what we're going to do now, and if you don't know it, it's okay, but we're going to sing a little song. And the song is another way that you clear your throat chakra, and anybody that has to do communications. And we're going to sing some songs with Ronnie and Frankie. But singing, and Sahadev does kirtan. And the throat chakra is so important to your development because it's how you speak to people and how you get your power in moving up through your body. And it's also a holy experience. So the more we can sing even silly songs, and this is a really simple song I always use in a sweat lodge because people aren't intimidated because they don't know it or it's hard. It's a Brook Medicine Eagle song. And it's really easy, and to get people comfortable, I always sing something really silly and simple. And what it does is it brings the energy up through your body, up and out. So, okay. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Hey, 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 ho. Hey, 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 ho. Hey, 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 ho. Hey, 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 ho. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Hey, 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 ho. Hey, 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 ho. Hey, 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 ho. Hey, 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 ho. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Oh. So, this morning, whenever I do a presentation, Spirit has me up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, thinking about, and even if I don't want to be. And what I really saw this as is, it's like we're drawing in an energy. Now, some of you live in Mount Shasta. Who doesn't live here? Those? Okay. And you do. Okay. So coming here, I started coming here, maybe I'll tell that story. I started coming here in 1978. I was on my way to Portland with my 2 children. My one son was 6 months old, and I decided that I would drive at night because he never slept, so I would try to drive when he was out. And I drove as far as Weed, and I had a motorhome, and I had seen the KOA campground. And this force said to me, turn and go to the KOA campground. And so I went there, and I was already meditating. And I sat down and I meditated, and this guy came to me, and he looked like Gandalf or one of those wizardy guys. And he was telling me, he said, now, and this is in 1978, and I had never heard the word avatar. And he said, spelled it out and said, I'm an avatar. And I thought, oh, okay, whatever. And from that point on, I had this relationship with this wizard guy. And from then, I started coming here like once a year for the people who don't come often. And I would regenerate every year for at least a week. And I would not only meditate a lot, but I would fast. I'd do a watermelon fast, a grape fast, I mean, all kinds of stuff. And I did that until the mid-'80s. And then I got a divorce and I started coming here more frequently. And when I say frequently, the longest was 6 weeks. So when you're here, and I work with a lot of Japanese who come like once a year, and what it's about is regenerating yourself for your work when you go back. And that's one of the things that when you're here and doing this like little drumming, this journey, or going into the mountain, you will make a commitment with the mountain wherever you're at. This mountain does really, we had a store, and the mistake I made, and this is one of the things that at 4 o'clock in the morning said to say, is that what I should have done is taped everybody's story of what the mountain did for them. And I didn't do that and do a release form and stuff, because I would go in early. And the reason I would go in is there was nothing open. So I'd get these people that would come in with these fabulous stories, because I'd be there about 9 o'clock in the morning and they couldn't find anything and they were dying to tell somebody, so they would tell me. And there was a woman once from Australia, and she had come, and she was she did flower essences for kids who had, anyway, that's what I'm trying to say, thank you. Autism. And she had been at her auntie's, who was some big medicine woman, psychic in Australia, and this book fell off the shelf, and it had a picture of the mountain, and she knew nothing about the mountain, and her auntie knew nothing about the mountain, but her auntie said, you need to go there. So she came and had all these mystical experiences here. And when I met her, she was on her 2nd trip back, and she had gotten citizenship and was working with more autistic kids with her flower essences. And the night before, and I was talking about the importance of when you're here to rest, because a lot of the stuff is downloaded in dream time. And she had gotten a dream that the Brotherhood or whoever had commissioned for her to get this green card and to be working in Berkeley. And she did not know that until she was here a 2nd time and had this very prolific dream about how that happened. And she would not have known it had she not come back. So I really encourage you to do a retreat here like once a year or whatever, because it really assists in your spiritual raising that vibration and really connecting. And one of the things that I will tell you, okay, when you're first here, it's all sparkly and wonderful, and isn't it great and it feels good? The other part of the mountain is it works very deeply with you psychologically and really kind of aligning those things that you need to extract that they were talking about earlier and healing. So when you come here, you ask for their prayer, but then there's another side of it. You have a responsibility to keep doing your work. And that's sometimes not as sparkly. People who live here will attest to that. Once people have lived here for a while and they start going through that, you go, oh, you really know the real Mount Shasta now. Because the sparkly, it's like, what kind of work are you willing to do for yourself and for the universe? So after that, I started coming frequently. And I was up here on New Year's Eve, and I'd made a commitment on New Year's Eve to, do the next year. And eventually, in 1998, I moved here permanently. And everything had really changed for me at that point, because when I had come the first time, I was married, I had 2 kids, I was living what I call a suburban life, even though I was meditating and doing all that kind of stuff. And then I really started I hadn't been a novice for a long time, and then I was moving into the real responsibility of who, I was. And that first year in May, I was moving up in July, and in May, everything changed. I had a plan. I was moving up here, and this guy I was with, we were going to do this and this and this and this. And by May, it all fell apart, and that, completely, which was good. I'm glad it happened. But that was the first year that I was ever off work for a year in my entire life, because I started babysitting at 12 and was really a worker bee. And probably some of you people are like that. And so when you have that time, I thought that I would paint and I do all those things you don't have time to do when you work, But it was not like that. I found that the busier I am, the more productive I am. But I also did a huge inner journey of really cleaning up and figuring out what was going on with me and that whole thing, and really grooving into, or having the roots of a tree going into Mount Shasta in a very different way. And like Aya and John know me and some of the people, but I pretty much hold a low profile here. Not so much now, obviously, I'm standing here, but in the past, because a lot of people said, oh, I didn't know you did drumming. I didn't know you did journey. I didn't know you were a hypnotherapist. Well, it takes a while to kind of get your groove in here. And I was in my early 40s, I was on this station and did this and did this and did that. And sometimes in order to do the best work, you have to get off it, to get on it, and to get more focused, and to really be in your own integrity and to do it. And not only that, to be more powerful, quietly powerful, right? Okay, so I'm just going to leave you with a closing prayer, and I'm going to introduce my 2 friends, Frank Tom and Ron Griffith. And I met them in 1998 up at Sky High. And I'd never been in the Marble Mountains. And what that means is it's a deep wilderness. And I was worried about carrying a pack, and was I going to keep up, and blah, blah, blah. When you haven't done that, I've done a lot of it since then. I've coordinated trips, done Sweat Lodge Wilderness, and I also do Vision Quest. And I met them, and Ronnie was like 5, a little tiny guy, and John Veltri here was doing the filming. I didn't know any of these people, and here we are from 1988, and we're doing this together. So I'm really grateful and appreciative for that. Oh.